Oh, like fun gay.
It was one of the most groundbreaking shows on television.
Lesbians gone wild. Sure.
In 2004, the L Word gave audiences something they'd never seen.
We love you guys, we do.
A gripping melodrama about lesbians living in Los Angeles that explored their lives.
You don't want to find a man, Mom.
Loves.
To us, to our future.
And libidos. Now, 13 years later, EW is bringing the cast back together for an unforgettable reunion.
It's just like no time has passed and just really fun.
We know. We've all complimented each other so many times today.
We have. The following program.
Modern style.
Let's make a baby. Let's make a baby.
The story of the L Word began back in 1999 with 42-year-old writer-producer Ilene Chaiken.
Today, Ilene Chaiken is a super successful writer-producer. She's currently the executive producer on the hit Hulu series The Handmaid's Tale. And she's also a showrunner on Empire.
I'm gonna need you to understand what I'm about to do, Andre.
But before the L Word, she was still making a name for herself. She had written a couple movies for Showtime, and her biggest credit was that she wrote the screenplay for Barbed Wire, starring Pamela Anderson.
Don't call me babe.
After working in Hollywood for nearly a decade, Chaiken came up with an idea for a progressive new drama.
I just one day had this urge to write a gay story. Nobody was doing it. There was no world in which you could do it in film or television. And I had 2 small children at the time. I had twin girls. And we're sitting on the front porch with these 2 other women who had just had 2 babies. And in fact, it was a lesbian couple. And then next door was another single lesbian mom, and across the street, and the kids were running up and down the street, and there were picket fences, and it seemed so kind of wholesome and normal, except that all of the families were gay families. And I thought, I want to write about this. I want to do a TV series about a bunch of lesbians in Los Angeles.
I think you might have found what you were looking for.
The premise of the show is that it's a group of friends all living in West Hollywood, which is a predominantly gay neighborhood of LA. And they are, for the most part, lesbians. One character is openly bisexual. There are a couple of straight characters, but for the most part, they all fit into the queer community of West Hollywood.
I didn't have a chance to wash everything, so.
The show was groundbreaking. You had Sex and the City, which explored what it was like for heterosexual women in New York City, but never had we seen, a tight group of lesbian women and what they were going through and what their challenges were in life.
Let's, just focus on being really good parents. It'll be a new kind of partnership for us.
Showtime initially passed on the project, but after the success of Queer as Folk, a show about a group of gay friends living in Pittsburgh, Chaiken pitched the network again in 2001.
I had gone back to Showtime, and I said, you're doing this gay show. I pitched you a lesbian show just like this. Why do the boys get to do it? And so I was at the Golden Globes with Jerry Offsay, who's the president of the network, and walked up to me and whispered in my ear, I think we're going to try that little lesbian show with you.
Oh my God, I actually want.
It was interesting because Jerry Offsay said to me, you're not going to get any stars. Nobody wants to play gay. And I said, I'm going to bet you right now that you're wrong because women are different from men. Actresses are different from actors. Actresses don't have all the same opportunities that actors do, and they're not thinking, God, this is going to ruin my career. I'm not going to star in some big action movie. They're thinking, this is a great role and a complex character, and there are so few for us. And so, who was the first person we cast? Jennifer Beals.
Here I am.
Jennifer Beals signed on to play Bette Porter, the extremely driven and successful curator of an LA art gallery.
We've shown impressions in winter for the last 5 years in a row. I thought this year we would wow them with something different.
The 41-year-old actress had been working steadily for 2 decades, but was probably best known for her breakout role in the 1983 hit Flashdance.
I had this idea that it was a little grandiose, but I wanted to be part of a show that could help bring representation to that young girl who was in the middle of Kansas who didn't have a community And I said to Eileen, we're gonna help as many people as we can. This is gonna be amazing. She goes, let's just try to get it on the air. Like, calm down. We're not gonna save the world right now. Let's just tell some good stories.
You never told me that Kim Porter was your sister. Wow.
My half-sister. Guess which half?
Bette's half-sister, Kit, was played by the legendary Pam Grier. The 55-year-old actress became a cult icon in the 70s after starring in a string of blaxploitation films.
Death is too easy for you, bitch. I want you to suffer.
Then, in 1997, her career got a reboot when Grier landed the title role in Quentin Tarantino's Jackie Brown.
As type A as Bette is, Kit is kind of at the opposite end of the spectrum. She's a struggling musician. She's a recovering alcoholic. She kind of finds trouble everywhere she goes, but they clearly love each other.
There's only one thing that cuts across all our realities. It's love. The bridge between all our differences. And you have so much love in your life.
Jennifer Beals and Pam Grier were, without a doubt, the two biggest stars to sign on for the L Word, so immediately the series had star power.
Congratulations, baby girl!
They had drawn that chart on the wall, and I walked in and I said, yeah, but you can't put me on that chart. And within 10 minutes, they had me on the chart.
Welcome to our world. Cheers. Welcome to the fold.
In 2001, Showtime greenlit The L Word, a trailblazing drama about a group of lesbians living in Los Angeles. Creator Eileen Chaiken knew the success of the show would depend on the strength of the ensemble cast.
I'm sorry I'm late, but I have a really good excuse.
The first to sign on was Jennifer Beals in the pivotal role of Bette Porter.
That set the tone, it set the bar, and it made clear the reality, which is that women will flock to great roles and great complex characters, and then we cast everybody and anybody we ever wanted.
I'm ready to start a family. We're both ready to start a family, right? Absolutely.
Bette's wife, Tina, was played by 33-year-old Laurel Holloman.
Laurel Holloman was already pretty well known in the gay community because she was a star in the film The Incredibly True Adventures of Two Girls in Love.
I really want to hold your hand right now. I want to hold your hand all day.
Tina is a bit of a counterpoint to Bette. She's kind of a protector and a nurturer. She's sometimes kind of the moral center of the show.
On the outside looking in, it's like they have everything you want. They have a beautiful home, they're gorgeous, picture-perfect relationship, everything you could want, but they have all these conflicts brewing.
It's not like we never have sex. A lot of heterosexual couples have children when their relationships aren't perfect.
33-year-old Hailey co-starred as Alice, the bisexual writer for LA Magazine.
I'm looking for the same qualities in a man as I am in a woman.
I heard about this from a friend about the audition, and I just thought it seemed really exciting that somebody was making an all lesbian themed show.
Wow, that's exciting.
Alice is that friend that you just want by your side all the time. She is happy and positive and inquisitive, and she's kind of obsessed with just the way the world works and the way dating works in LA.
She knows everything about everyone in this community, and she keeps track of who they've hooked up with, and she has this expansive chart where she can link everyone to each other.
Crazy, yes, but not tidy.
And it just grows and grows and grows, not only in terms of the number of people that are involved in the chart, but its importance in the show.
Name any lesbian you know. I can link her to me in like 6 moves.
Here's how we came up with the chart. I was in the writer's room. There was, 4 or 5 gay women on the staff, and some of them knew one another. And I remember that I went out to lunch one day, and I came back from lunch, and the chart was on the board. And it was because a couple of the women had started talking and realized that they'd all dated the same people, or they dated somebody who dated somebody who dated, and they were all connected. And so they had drawn that chart on the wall, and I walked in and I said, yeah, but you can't put me on that chart. And within 10 minutes, they had me on the chart.
27-year-old Katherine Moennig played the cool, confident Shane.
Shane?
Yeah. Hey.
Shane's the resident hottie. She is a very popular hairdresser around town. She's the kind of person that all eyes are on her when she walks into a room. She shines her light on you for maybe one night, and then the next night she probably doesn't even remember your name, which only makes people want her more.
You're beautiful, and I like you a lot. But I like a lot of people.
I read for it in New York. That's where I used to live, and yeah, they flew me out to test, and they said one other girl is testing for Shane. And they're also going to be testing Jenny's on the same day. But just so you know, there's one other girl. And I said, okay. So I walked into the lobby of Showtime, and I see a sea of long hair and this one girl with like crazy spiky hair. And I see the back of her, and I'm like, I think that's it.
That's it.
That's it. There it is.
There it is.
Nice.
Right,
So
yeah.
did you
then
two
it was like
talk
that,
to each other?
What was that awkward like audition where you're like, hey, how are you? And, you know, really.
Good luck.
And we
but
could
one
see
of us
it's
is
gonna
not.
be really
Yeah,
bummed.
But Leisha went in first. Leisha had a prop. I saw her pull out of her back pocket.
Oh my God, I've heard this guys, I really thought
what was your prop?
I really thought I had the part because of
Right?
my prop. I was like,
your prop?
I got a comb.
Oh my God.
It was a comb.
And I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, I flew in here all the way from New York, and I'm not going to get this job because I didn't bring a comb. I didn't bring one prop.
Yeah.
So what? So then what happened?
Just cake got the part.
Obviously.
I think it's awesome.
It was a miracle that we found Kate because she is Shane. I mean, she is exactly the character. I mean, it was like, you know, Shane kind of walked into the room fully formed. And there are very few women who become actors who have this vibe.
32-year-old Erin Daniels landed the role of Dana, the closeted professional tennis player.
Look, if I'm outed, I'm screwed, Alice, all right? Sponsors aren't exactly clamoring to have their stuff repped by big old lesbian tennis players.
First I read for Bette, then I read for Alice. They're like, we know we might want you somewhere. And then I read for Dana, and then I tested for Dana, and I didn't get the part.
What?
And then, because they weren't sure which way to go, and then the head of casting called me, because we were really good friends. She's like, please come back in.
And bring a comb.
And bring a comb.
And you wore a tennis racket.
But they just wanted to see me do something different, so I went back in and tested again with a different group of people and got the job.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
29-year-old Mia Kirshner was cast as Jenny, the character most fans love to hate.
I feel like my friends think I'm out of my mind.
Jenny Schecter. She is probably the most divisive character on the show. In some ways, she is the viewer. She is the person that comes into the community to live with her boyfriend. She is, as far as we know, straight, as far as she seems to know straight, and she moves in next to Bette and Tina and kind of gets swept up in their world.
We're having a party tomorrow night. Oh, yeah? You and Tim should come. Okay. I'll ask Tim if he wants to.
Definitely some of the details of Jenny's story were details that I took from my own life. It wasn't that the character was me, because I'm a little dark Jewish girl, and Jenny was written as kind of corn-fed and Midwestern, because I thought, you know, this is the access character. I wanted to tell the story about somebody coming into a world, and she would appear very accessible.
This is a very interesting party.
And when Mia Kirshner came in and auditioned, there was no question. I mean, the minute that I saw Mia walk into the room and perform that role, she was Jenny.
I read the script and I was like, well, it's Marina. I'm going to play Marina. And I was like, I'm wrong for Jenny.
Marina has a reading group. You guys met the other night.
Hi, Jenny.
Hey. And I don't want to read for Jenny. This is I'm not appropriate for Jenny. And I didn't go in. And then my agent called me again and was like, they won't see you for Marina.
Oh my God.
Come on, I want to see you check me out.
Marina, the owner of the local coffee shop, was played by 35-year-old Karina Lombard.
Marina is part of this group of friends. She owns the Planet, which is basically like the central perk of the L Word. It's where everybody congregates there in the morning, in the afternoon. They're always at the Planet. Marina is incredibly sexy, incredibly worldly, and she's gay. And she sets her sights on Jenny. And Jenny hasn't been in town for maybe 2 days when she's making out with Marina in the bathroom.
The L Word premiered on January 18th, 2004, and was an immediate hit with both viewers and critics.
You know, lesbian's pretty trendy these days.
You probably don't want to say that in a room full of lesbians.
I think you might be right. I think being gay is very cool right now.
Showtime responded by renewing the series for a second season after just 2 episodes, the quickest renewal in the network's history.
I love it! I love it!
The show had a built-in audience because lesbians were so excited to finally see a depiction of themselves on TV.
It is powerful and confrontational.
We had seen changes culturally, but to have a TV show depict something you could relate to on this level was huge.
When the L Word premiered, the world was hungry for it, and it completely delivered.
And I remember just how immediately improvisational the show was and how brilliant all of these women were. Just how much of themselves they brought to it.
We had no idea. We were in a little bubble.
We also shot in Vancouver.
Yeah.
So we were here, and this is before social media.
Yeah.
God only knows what it would have been like
if we had Twitter and
But in Vancouver, we were in this little bubble, so we didn't encounter what a lot of popular TV shows encounter.
Our concerns were where we were having dinner that night. Kate, do you remember our first kiss?
Mia, yeah. It took literally 20 minutes. We couldn't even get close to each other.
And someone said that dykes are the new fags. What do you think about that?
I think people like to categorize things too much.
In 2004, The L Word premiered on Showtime. The groundbreaking drama about a group of lesbians living in Los Angeles was an overnight sensation and soon became the most popular show on the network.
It was so much fun and so thrilling when the show was on the air to go to pretty much any city in the country, and every Sunday night there was an L Word party in some bar. I could walk into a club and sit and watch the show with hundreds or thousands of women. There was just a lot of love and excitement and celebration. Representation is so important, and we had never been represented.
The L Word really was such a cultural phenomenon. It opened up so many people's eyes. The most mainstream way, I think more so than I think any of us ever probably anticipated.
Well, it's almost like the first time it was like training wheels. Like, this is what lesbians look like when they drink coffee. That's true. What lesbians look like when, like when we get ready for work, and now we can, really live it out.
That's what like art and entertainment do. It's supposed to broaden your mind. It's supposed to teach you something, show you something that you don't know about. That's the power. Makes you feel that's the power of what we do.
I'm Carmen.
Hey, Carmen.
Sarah Shahi joined the cast in season 2. The 24-year-old actress played Carmen, Shane's new DJ girlfriend.
I mean, this is exactly where I want to be in like 5 years from now.
I like a girl with ambition.
My first day, I get cast in the show called The L Word for this character named Carmen de la Pica Morales. And by the way, the last name didn't come until like 6 episodes in. So I was just Carmen for the longest time. I get cast on the show. I'm telling my mom, I've got to move to Vancouver. I've got a job. It was my first series regular gig. And she's like, oh, L Word. What does L mean? I'm like, love. I don't know, it means love. And so I go up there, and it's my first day, and I get introduced to Kate. And it's like, Kate, this is Sarah. Sarah, this is Kate. So in this scene, Kate's going to be going down on you. And I was just like, whoa. What? Welcome to the L Word.
I want you to meet Moira. She lives over in Wilmette. Nice to meet you.
In season 3, the series introduced Moira, an IT specialist who transitions from female to male.
Jenny goes back to the Midwest, where she's from, and when she arrives back in LA, she's got Moira with her. And Moira kind of doesn't really fit with the group. She's a bit more rough around the edges, a bit more working class. She's not a girly girl, and most of the women in this group are.
In the process of living there, she comes to terms with who she really is as a man, and we actually see her full transformation and struggle with this on the show.
This is to inform all of my friends and acquaintances that from now on I'll be going by the name Max.
There were a couple of women on my writing staff who talked about it, who said, my ex, who used to be a lesbian, is now a guy, and that is challenging to me in various ways. And when I listened to enough of those stories, I felt that this was really a part of our lives and our communal story, and it was time to tell that story.
Moira, who soon becomes Max, was played by 29-year-old Daniela Sea.
When I got to show up for this role, they were being a little mysterious to tell me that it was like a trans character. I kind of had an idea where it was going to be heading, but I didn't really know. And then I realized really quickly, like, wow, this is the first time this is going to happen in this way. And it was challenging because I was new to acting.
If you think men are the enemy, then you and I have a problem.
While some characters came and went, the core cast became incredibly close during the 5-year run of the series.
For me, I just really wanted to be part of something that had a larger meaning. And I think what's so exciting about everybody working on something like that for an extended period of time is that not only do you form these incredible friendships, but you form these friendships that are also give meaning and purpose to this larger goal.
I think it's such a testament to Eileen Chaiken, who created the show, not only writing about this, which hadn't been depicted on TV, but to create an environment unlike any environment that I had ever had, and I've never had since, that it was a real collaboration, working with mostly women, and she had an open door policy. She would actually wanted to hear what we thought about our characters and actually listened, and it was unprecedented.
So give it a try.
I also want to say what about the show on a personal level is watching the evolution of the friendships on the screen was also the evolution of our own relationships.
Very much so.
Because some of us were living together.
Yeah. Oh gosh, that's right.
You did. That actually affected what was going on to the screen. Alicia and I lived together in the first season. We have so many stories. We had a house fire.
Yeah.
Oh my God, the dryer fire. And your dryer fire.
Bandit saved.
And my dog saved us.
Yes.
Then Kate moved in with us.
Kate moved in with us the second.
So we would leave set.
Well, because
and then we'd go home and do the same thing.
It's f***ing on.
Shooting dozens of love scenes also helped bring the cast closer together.
The L Word did not shy away from graphic sex scenes. This is a group of women who are out there and dating and in relationships, and the sex scenes are really sexy.
Oh, Captain, my Captain.
The L Word, of course, featured a lot of sex, and when you're doing these intimate scenes with people, with a bunch of crew members watching you, you naturally just become closer.
These girls said that my breasts were the 9th character.
Well, the 9th and the 10th.
Yeah.
Her breasts
Yes.
should have had their own damn trailer.
Yes.
Like it was.
I think they get residuals.
We see him. Yeah, we get, we see
But
him.
I will say what was so great, I will say this, like in all seriousness, like doing love scenes with guys and girls, like I much prefer doing them with girls only because I feel like as women, we so naturally protected each other. If there was a body part that we didn't really want shown or whatever it was.
Talk about that.
Like Kate and I had a whole thing worked out, like what we would cover. I think you and I did a few times. And like
Erin, you and I.
You know,
We did that. Who else?
I'll never forget the one time
I banged all of you girls.
and okay, I'm gonna tell the story. I'm gonna tell the story because I just now remembered it, and I think it's amazing that Mia actually asked me this. We kissed. And after the kiss, she was like, "Can I? Do you think I'm a good kisser?"
She asked me the same thing.
Oh my God.
That's terrible.
It was amazing. No, it was amazing. It was amazing, and I'm like, "Of course you are." And then she was like, "Who's better, me or Kate?" No, I'm kidding. She didn't know.
That's terrible because I saw the way I kissed on camera and I was like, this looks dead. I look dead. There's something wrong with the way I kiss. And I was like, what do I do to fix this? Because you are a great on-camera kisser.
Yeah, you're good.
Why?
Jennifer?
What do you do?
What do you do?
I commit. You commit, but you also know that you're making a visual picture.
Kate, do you remember our first kiss?
Mia, yeah.
So that's it? You're done trying?
I'm out.
We were beside ourselves.
It took like a good. I think I had to walk down a hallway, or she had to walk down. One of us had to walk down a hallway towards each other. It took literally 20 minutes. We couldn't even get close to each other.
Leash and I, the first time we had to kiss on camera, and we'd become really good friends. And it was like,
oh wow, I have to kiss
awkward. And it's like, what do you do? Do you do what so many other people have done and like start taking shots from a bottle of whiskey? And you're like, no. Yes. Yeah, we did. And I think by
it helped a lot.
It helped a lot. Helped a lot. You're like, this is kind of fun.
You don't want to find a man, Mom.
It's one thing to be recognized for being on TV, right? But it's another thing to be recognized for being on television, for portraying something that means so much to so many people.
Welcome to Bisexual Speed Dating Night!
In 2004, The L Word premiered on Showtime, and for 3 years running, it was the most popular series on the network.
Really?
Really?
Irresponsible!
While both critics and audiences fell in love with this trailblazing show, the greatest impact was felt within the LGBT community.
We honor you.
I received the most beautiful letters I've ever received on any show. Like extraordinary letters where people, would say, the show gave me the courage to come out, and it's been a great experience, and my family has accepted me, and I've been accepted at work. And there was this one couple, I don't know if you guys remember, because they came to visit the set, where they had been a couple for 30 years, and they were in their 60s, and they had the courage to come out to their family and at work, and it was so beautiful and so moving. And the L Word fans are the best fans in the world.
They really are.
Check these out. We want to position you as gay Anna Kournikova. Not something we do. I don't think that.
I love it. I want to be the gay Anna Kournikova. I do.
Dana came out on the show.
Yeah.
The reaction that I was getting was amazing.
Dana and I have something we'd like to ask you.
And, I had people coming up to me often saying, I had the courage to sit my parents down and watch that episode and say, hey, Mom, okay, that's me.
We'd really like your blessing.
I don't know what difference that makes.
That would mean a lot.
And the way that it was done, it was incredibly moving.
Both of you, such pretty girls. Neither of you would have any trouble finding a man.
We don't want to find a man, Mom.
Dana.
No, it's just frustrating, I try to tell you guys, and you just don't listen.
It's one thing to be recognized for being on TV, right? But it's another thing to be recognized for being on television, for portraying something that means so much to so many people.
The L Word was really breaking down barriers and boundaries left and right in lots of different ways. Because it wasn't just a show about lesbians, because nothing can be just a show about one thing when it's as good as the L Word. So it was also about class. It was about race. It's one of the first times we've seen a trans character on TV.
I'm not saying that we would discriminate against you, but we're looking for someone who is a team player.
Yeah, I'm a team player.
What side do you bat for, Moira? I'm kidding. I'm sorry. It was too good to resist.
When you touch someone's heart with a story, that's how you can change people's minds, and also policy. I mean, we see a huge revolution of what's going on with queer rights and gay marriage and all that stuff has happened since, and I'm sure it's part of it to normalize.
Wow, you look really hot.
I had a kid come up to me just like 2 months ago. He's from a very small town in Brazil, very rural, poor area, and he got a hold of a copy of the L Word, and he saw the character of Max, and he realized the whole context for his life. And now he's on asylum, living in the States, living a trans life. He's told he's an actor, he's doing theater, all this stuff.
Amazing.
And it's just from this one character, and I hear those stories about everybody on the show. All the characters on the show could connect with different people.
Really seemed like something you talked about,
Oh, you can talk about it, Donna. You have to talk about it.
I was shell-shocked, but it was to make a statement, that sometimes the people you love, sometimes are not going to make it.
Couldn't get her back. I'm very sorry.
class.
You can't do these on the plane, ladies. You should know better than that. Have fun.
Yeah, good, thanks.
The L Word was an enormous hit within the LGBT community, winning 2 GLAAD Awards for Best Drama while being nominated 5 years in a row.
You are just so gay.
So gay.
I know.
The trailblazing series continued to explore lesbian life in Los Angeles, and sometimes that meant dealing with loss.
She's a fighter, this one.
You hear that, Danny? You're getting a little reputation around here.
In season 3, creator Ilene Chaiken made the difficult decision to kill off one of her most beloved characters.
She was like, so your character gets breast cancer. I'm like, oh my God. Of course, you know, empathy. I'm like, oh my God, that's terrible. Actor, I'm like, oh my God, that's amazing. And then she's like, and then she dies. I'm like, what?
Dana, I'm gonna be right here waiting. I'm not going anywhere.
And, you know, I was sort of shell-shocked because I had no idea that was going to happen. But it was to make a statement, you know, that sometimes the people you love, sometimes they struggle and sometimes they're not going to make it.
Couldn't get her back. I'm very sorry.
We thought this is so much a part of life, and especially a part of, I mean, in gay life in which your friends are your family. Even more so than in the straight community. Our friends are our family. They mean everything to us. And that loss becomes so deep and so profound. And we wanted to tell a story about that kind of loss. And we felt that we would be wimping out if we told it about somebody who wasn't a main and beloved character. It wouldn't have that impact.
We love you, Dana, and we miss you every day.
You're in our hearts, Dana.
I've often said in retrospect that it's the one thing that I regret. It was a good story. I believe in the story, but the audience never forgave me for it. It just upset so many people, and I still mourn the character. It's just the one thing that I maybe would change if I could go back and change anything.
Those are her ashes.
Yeah.
Another death in the 6th and final season sparked what was probably the biggest controversy in the history of the series.
The beginning of season 6, we find out in the first episode that Jenny is dead.
Okay, tell me what we know.
We then immediately flash back 3 months, and we know that the rest of the series is going to be about trying to figure out who killed her.
I don't plan on keeping you long, but I'm sure you understand. I've got to ask a few questions.
I remember my reaction. I was really surprised. I just started to cry. Like, I was really deeply upset. Like, because it was like, this is like she had become a part of me.
When Showtime said to me, we're going to do one more season, it's 8 episodes, we decided that we wanted to try to do those 8 episodes as kind of a limited series. And that was a little before everybody was doing limited series. So, you know, we did this murder mystery for the whole 8 episodes. I'm not sure that it was the best choice.
You know, I'm afraid this is going to take a bit longer than we thought. But we'll do whatever you need for us to do.
I wanted to pretend like the sixth didn't happen and that just capped at 5. Well, it ended at 5. Because the show wasn't about a death. The series didn't, that wasn't what this whole show was about.
We'll cooperate with you.
Yeah, we're a very tight-knit group.
And we take care of each other.
To do a murder mystery maybe was off topic for us, but it was a metaphor. Jenny brought us into this world. Jenny is going to take us out of this world.
Want us to come back to the station, right? Oh, that would be great.
After 6 seasons and 70 episodes, the series finale of The L Word aired on March 8th, 2009.
In the end, we never actually find out who killed Jenny.
What we know for sure is that everybody had a motive, so it's kind of up to viewers to decide who they think had the biggest motive, but we don't get an actual conclusion from the show.
But in a way, it's like everyone was responsible for it, because of course that finale reviewed how everyone may have had a reason to kill her. And actually, Ilene Chaiken had a really interesting take on that ending.
I think it was me. I don't know who else could have done it. None of those girls was a murderer. No, I don't think anybody else killed Jenny. I don't know who did.
It's been 8 years since they said goodbye, and fans are more than ready for a reboot.
It feels like there's a chance that the L Word could come back. I mean, there certainly is a chance. We talk about it all the time, and You know, when we went off the air in 2009, and I think a lot of people thought, okay, the baton is passed now, and there will be lots of shows that take it up, that portray lesbian characters, lesbian life. There's really nothing. It certainly feels like maybe the L Word should come back.
There seems like such a hole in terms of the landscape on what's on television and what we're capable of doing. And there's so many other stories to tell that it's crazy that this show doesn't exist. We need shows that are about community and acceptance.
And most importantly, about women.
And the power of friendship.
And the power of friendship and a chosen family. All of these themes that have gotten more relevant. It's just...
Not to get too political, but it might actually be just as relevant now as it was when we made the show, if not more so.
More so.
I used to resist talking about legacy because it seemed so high-flown, and I would always say, you know, it's a TV show, and we just told great stories. But clearly, it meant a lot to a lot of people, not just gay women, but certainly to a lot of gay women. I meet people still who say, the L Word helped me to come out, the L Word helped me to talk to my family. You know, the legacy of the show, I would like to think, is in part about representation, about making our stories known and making us a part of the popular entertainment culture.
You guys changed my life.
So thank you for everything. Okay? That's it.